let's start with the LGBTQI plus bill. What does the president say? MFA?
Well, so the Daily Graphic this morning, Reverend, is reporting on how after the Christian Council met with the president yesterday, he's been assuring them that, well, as soon as Parliament gets done with their role in passing of this bill, he surely will maybe assent to it. But let me understand, first of all, you, for the church, personally, your position on this. And if you take a casual look at the possible challenges it may give because of our constitutional provisions.
Yeah, so once again, I did talk about the percentage of Christians in Ghana. This, for me, is a right call in the right direction, okay? Because whatever laws we enact has to reflect on who we are as a people. We cannot just take anything that is churned out to us or forced down our throat as a true reflection of who we are as a people. And when I'm sure the current government, when the current government was in a position, very great people like the Honorable St. George and a few others, and currently I'm sure the Reverend Fojo. So on both sides of the political divide, you have people that have the stomach and the willingness to push this. And I think rightly so, it has to be presented, and the right thing has to be done in terms of passing the anti-gay bill. Talking about what has to be done, I think you've already mentioned that paper has to be sent through to Parliament, and at some point, I'm sure within this tenure of our president, and thank God, I believe that the president has the willingness and the appetite to do this. And the earliest we can have closure on this, because it's been dragging for some time now, the better. It has to be done. But you know what? Most importantly, I am an advocate of education. And I say this, that if you want to make anything a reality in terms of making sure that your ideas are translated into reality, put it into the curriculum. How are we educating the children from the schools right from the age of 3? And that's what the West has done. I mean, I had the privilege of teaching in the UK for about 23 years. And I can tell you this, anytime the Western government wants to do something, they put it into the curriculum. So right from the age of 2 years, they start teaching you, they start inculcating that within you. Okay. So you grow up with it, understanding that. And I'm telling you this, for some of our families, some of our kids, you'll be surprised to know that a little child will come home and will tell you that, oh, Dad, that is how they are made, because they've been taught that in school. Okay, so if we can also make sure that some of the things that we believe in, that we trust, is the right way, because God, and I like what President Mahama said recently. He said it very clearly. He says he believes, and that's what we believe as well, that God made male and female. And if that's what we believe, and that's the right thing, and that's what I believe as well, we put it into the curriculum, we teach the children growing up. And once you teach them, it says, train a child in the way he should go, Proverbs 22, verse 6. Yeah. And when he's old, he will not depart from it. Put it into education. If it is corruption, put it into education. Say, put it into education. Let the children grow up knowing that these are vices of society, these are wrongs, and we cannot right those wrongs. We need to educate our kids.
So it's just not about the laws, but we need to make sure the curriculum is having it.
Exactly.
But mustn't the law dictate that this is wrong? Then we can look at putting in the curriculum.
Exactly, and that's where the legislation bit comes in. So that bit has to be done, okay? So our lawmakers will have to make sure, I mean, certainly the paper has to be sent through to Parliament, debate will go on, it has to be passed, President says, I will sign it. So let's see that happen. But you don't even have to wait, because, and I say this, for example, I mean, if you have headache, it might be anything. It might be something that is going on in your body. There might be a bigger underlying issue. You might not know it. But what stops you from taking paracetamol? It won't kill you. You're not. It's not like you're taking some serious medication, paracetamol. So if there is an issue that we know, we can start from somewhere, by using education to try solving the problem before it even gets out of hand. So I think it is getting out of hand. We're seeing the evidence. We know things are happening, albeit under cover. Sometimes people might be a bit bold to front things up. But we are saying that we're Ghana, we're Ghanaians. This is not part of our culture. It has to be passed through to Parliament to become law. The President will sign it, and he said that. But let's start educating people. It started with our churches. It started with our civil societies, communities, and schools. We have to start from somewhere.
Okay. Let's bring in Dr. Kwame Asante now. Doc, I mean, some people have argued that even if they are, these are things they do in private. They don't flaunt it in front of anyone. So why must Ghana be so hard to the extent that we say we want to enact laws that deal with them? But they say that does not have a place in the global geopolitics. How do you see it? Should we still, move along that line to get a law that prohibits LGBTQI plus issues?
Yeah. Before I come to that, would you permit me to also air my view on an interesting topic I have in mind? But if time will not permit, I'm quick to cede that to you.
Oh, Doc, do have it.
Right. I'm looking at the armed forces recruitment and matters arising, but I'll make it snappy. I think people have said a lot. My advice to the military is that we know it's a very important institution, but we believe that the approach that they have used over the years has failed this time around. So I am happy with the measures that put in place, but I'm wondering that can that exercise be done in an enclosed area than, people exposed to the vagaries of the weather, rain or shine? That is, for me, is worrying. I think they can look around this and make sure that they get their acts together and have something meaningful. Those deaths are needless, but people have said more. Tied to that is the issue that the decision by government that they are going to the homes to recruit, as it were, people from the deceased families. So for me, it's no. When you lose a child, and supposing that child is the only child you have, who else do you want to recruit? Your sister's child or who? And who will sit down to enjoy, as it were, over somebody's death and all that? In families, it can create trouble. Please, those who gave advice should shy away from that advice. It doesn't accept. Society don't accept that. Even when you want to even compensate them, people will tell you that that money is blood money. And I'm speaking as a traditionalist. In traditional homes, these things are very sensitive. The least they can do is to, continue to console them, and then they will find a way out. But that one, no. The last one is the Pusika MP. I am very surprised about her comments about that. It is very insensitive and unfair to the families who are bereaved. If you can't support them in any way, by way of condolences, you don't add insult into their injuries. I think the woman owe those families apology, because as an MP, you are the link. You represent the people, not only representing them, but their interest, their aspiration, and everything of them. So if you can say this, for me, it's unfortunate. I think I'll end here and move on to your topic. LGBTQ plus bill before Parliament. You have asked a very important question, which dovetails into international politics. Within the global politics, we know that there are bullies, and it's also chaotic environment. And that if you take resources from people to support your country's affairs, they can push all manner of things down your throat. And this is one of this. If you want to shy away from this, then you must do yourself good by generating resources that can help you to run your own affairs. Otherwise, anything that comes to mind, which is of their interest but not your interest, can be pushed to you. So it is unfortunate that some of these things we come face to face with it. I am not against any law that is passed, because laws are nothing but the will of the expression of the people, what we want it to be, as a way to regulate human conduct, because every human being has certain negatives that you need a law to regulate. So if you are coming with a law, I don't have a problem. But within the global space, if you are also an entity within the global space, you must weigh a lot of things before you take that decision. So for me, it is a very difficult situation for the country. But whatever decision the country wants to take, I don't have a problem. But they must be prepared for, the pluses and the minuses.
But what this government has been able to do in terms of raising revenue domestically to handle affairs for the past 10 months, should it give us that impetus that, well, we can do this if we get committed to it?
You see, nobody is supposed to give us any money to survive on. Remember, countries are on paper soaring, all right? So you are capable of, manning your own affairs. The state capacity, discussion takes us to the realm that, look, we have what we call extractive capacity, ability of the state to generate resources within its own country and use it to run its own affairs. If God has blessed you with all the resources, if you look at this country, we have almost everywhere is littered with gold or diamond or in recent time, lithium. And yet we have a cap around in hand, globetrotting, looking for resources. I think those who give us resources, they are so good. I mean, if they were very difficult people, we would die of hunger. But I don't see. I always said that, look, if I were God, I would not even listen to the prayer from Ghana. Because, look, God has blessed us with everything. Why are we poor? Why are we poor? You want God literally to come down and then turn red resources into something meaningful. Come on, Ghana. So I believe that, look, we can do everything if we apply ourselves together. We are disciplined and all that. Look at financial indiscipline. Go to Auditor General's report, replete with that. Check parliamentary committee on these, ministry department agencies when they appear. You see excesses, financial waste, corruption, and all that. If we're able, Transparency International has told us that every year, over $5 billion slip through our fingers through corruption. If you're able to plug that hole, you don't go to IMF for $3 billion. Look at the government, less than 1 year. Guru Board has been able to rake about $7 billion. So what have we been doing over the years? It's just financial recklessness, and that has brought us this far. But you see, the political actors will not just want to say this, but we as a society has also glorified them by giving them mandate all the time, instead of throwing them out when the time comes for election. But hey, if we don't take our destiny into our own hands, political actors, whether different party or not, they will act the same way because their interest is not our interest.
Let me bring you in, Dr. Manasseh Minta. I mean, you are a legal policy analyst as well. The president says, I'm ready to sign if this is done. What is your expectation of what should happen? Because the president says, I want to see that this will be a government-sponsored bill, other than, what's the current bill now? They call it a private members bill. What's your expectation of what should happen?
Well, I believe that the President of the Republic of Ghana will be on the right side of history if he follows suit with his promise to append his signature should Parliament be able to pass the bill. And here's the thing. I have been following the President very closely the past few years. I think the first time being when I was a student in Brandeis in Massachusetts. And I saw in him, the very first moment, a certain personality. He wanted to accept the Nkrumah's vision. And with the discussions that we had with him in a breakfast meeting, I could see that everything is reverberating before my eyes. This is a president who went to the United States in the UN General Assembly and accept a certain personality of the African, which to me is like invoking an Nkrumah's vision. And the president has said over and over again that Africa has come of age. Africa shouldn't be the footnotes of Eurocentric views and Eurocentric practices and customs. Africa has to carve its own self on what I call egalitarian African philosophy. Now, should this bill be passed, we're sending a message to those in the West who want to continuously bully Africa that Africa is no more going to do this. and that we are capable of managing our economy and then also taking our people from this quicksands of economic deprivation. Like the other panelists have said, Gold Board has been doing fantastically well. I mean, the economy had just had a turnover. And I believe that if the president is able to pass this bill, not only will Ghana be able to send a definite message to the West, it will also be able to start to look in within to assess some of these values and then push for economic emancipation. Now, why do I say that? Here's the thing. You see, we're looking at only anti-gay aspect of this, but I look at it further beyond that. I think that everything that the president is doing, when you look at it on a larger scope, is trying to put us on a path of independence so we can wean ourselves from the remains of foreign harvest. And I believe that if the West should come up and then want to attack us in another way, just as they do in these neo-colonialist days, we'll be able to push back. And some of these policies that he has put in place, like the Akukon Kitikiti and all that, it just tells you that he's trying to give us that personality, have it independent of the West, and also to not make ourselves look like the Trojan horse of the West. And so I welcome that. Gay whatsoever is alien to Africa. I am purely Afrocentric. I believe in African egalitarian philosophy, and I also believe in indigenous decolonization. I think the time has come for us to tell the West that what you want to impose on us is alien to us. Our orientation is different, our culture, our precedents, our values, our idols, things that we uphold are different from theirs. And the fact that you do it on your street does not mean that we have to import it on ours. And so we have to do that step by step, but also send message to them that when we do that and you push back, we will be able to emancipate ourselves economically and win ourselves from your remains. And that to me is what the president is doing. And that is why I believe that this president is setting himself for something high, and I'm not surprised that he will be able to do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Minta. Reverend Gostinafo.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I think interesting, very powerful discussions there. I just wanted to add to it as well. Even looking at the current international geopolitics, a few years ago, we saw what happened in the UK when Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister, said something. He says, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. So even within the UK, the very conservative government has pushed for that agenda. What are we seeing in the US now? We've got President Donald Trump. What's his stance? So there's a very strong...
A man is a man,
a man is a man, a woman is a woman. So there's a strong appetite within the West, within the current space of the politics that we're seeing, where the right-wing politicians are pushing for some of these basic human, morals to be established. And I think we can now use this as a very good time. There's not been a good time to pass this law than now, because you can use Donald Trump and the US, the biggest world movers and shakers, use them as a decoy to pass your laws. And I'm sure no one is going to come down hard at you. In any case, anyway, the US aid and other aids that we used to get is being cut. So it's cut already. So what do we have to lose? This is the best time. Pass the law. And I'm sure that I believe, I know our president is a listening president. I believe when he says he'll do it, I know that there will be action taken. I want to see this law pass, and I want to see the ASEAN fully and duly delivered. And I want to see education going on. And even if there are people who are struggling with that, they could be supported. We're not going to hate them. We're not going to beat them up. We will support them, educate people for the right thing to be done.
Okay. I'm looking forward to a day when the speaker will say, this vote, we're doing it publicly like he did. And get up and tell us your position.
Whether you agree or not, that'll be a good one.
Yeah.